Welcome back to part 3 of our interview with Andy Marshall, where he tells us the number 1 secret to being a great listener, in addition to why having a positive outlook will take you further, faster. Keep it right here. Part 3 is just around the corner.
Welcome to this edition of Peak Performance Podcast with your host, Thor Conklin. Thor will be sharing the necessary tools, strategies, and psychology you'll need to become a peak performer in any area of your life or business.
Thor Conklin here. We give you the tricks, the tips, the tools, the strategy, the technology, and the psychology peak performers use in order to get more done and execute at the highest level. If you know what to do but struggle with getting it all done, or simply want to raise your game to the next level, this podcast is for you. Sit back and enjoy. What's some of the business advice that you got along the way that you look back on, whether it was from a mentor or family, just, some nuggets that you live by and really value?
Right. Yeah, I didn't move in to live with my dad till I was 13. So moving in with him, and he was in the grocery business, I immediately started wanting to emulate him. I can't say I ever got a lot of great advice from him. He was a man of few words, but you saw his dedication, right? You saw his dedication to hard work and to what he was doing. He never shared a P&L. He never showed us the business. He kept everything close to the vest. So, when we started, and I wasn't the only sibling that went into the grocery business, but when we all started with this blank slate of, okay, now we got to kind of figure this out on our own. I learned how to emulate good hard work and ethic, business ethics from my dad. But from words of advice, I met this lady here in Nashville named Cordia Harrington. She's known as the Bun Lady, and she's just a fabulous business person. She was a single mom that started selling real estate, and then she found some successful people that she was selling the house to, and found out they were McDonald's franchisees, and so she got into franchising McDonald's, and then she noticed that McDonald's didn't have any female or any non-white males that were suppliers of theirs, and eventually she became a supplier to all the McDonald's here in the Southeast with buns. And so I had an opportunity to take a trip with Cordia, and just gleaned a lot of energy, a lot of passion, and a lot of good information from her. And as a matter of fact, she even set me up with her financial advisor, who I could not even gotten in the door if Cordia hadn't called him and said, "Listen, I want you to take Andy under your wings and help him out planning his future." And that's just been great advice and great help. But she's been a super mentor, and I talk about her a lot.
That's great. I find that the most successful, the wealthiest, the ones that have achieved so much are the most giving.
Absolutely.
It's really interesting. I'm always amazed with my circle of how giving they are, and they just continue. It's like, what else can I do for you? What else can I do for you?
Yeah. And if they don't, shame on them.
Yeah, I can't point to anybody. It's amazing. I think there's a perception. I think the 1% has gotten beaten up an awful lot.
Yeah.
And in some cases, there's a lot of hatred towards them. And I find successful people to be the most generous, kind-hearted people I know.
Yeah.
I
agree.
There's some exceptions to the rule, but
sure.
The ones I know and the ones I spend time with are just amazing people. Daily habits. You just didn't come out of a womb, just who we see today. What are some of the daily habits that have made or contributed to your success?
Well, I was good to average student. I wasn't a great student, mainly because I wasn't a good reader, and never learned that. From my sordid past, never was in a school long enough to make friends or to have long-term relationship with teachers. So I went to 14 schools before I was in middle school, and that lesson I probably learned is how to make friends quick, how to get along with people for whatever time I was there. But I regret never being a great reader. So I learned to be a good listener because I wasn't a great reader. As a matter of fact, my wife now, we were in college together and took some classes together, and she made the comment, she says, "Why don't you ever take notes?" I said, "Because I listen. I don't have to write it down. I miss something. If I'm writing it down, then I'm missing what they're saying. So I just listen, and then I read your notes later."
I read your notes. I love that. You know what? So often, things our past is our past, and some things didn't exactly work out the way we wanted them to. But so often, there's so many great gifts in there. I love that. I wasn't a great reader, so I became a great listener.
Absolutely.
I learned how to develop relationships quickly. I mean, you're a connector. You're a relationship guy. You got a big heart, and it's funny because it's not until I think that we're tested and we have difficulties that we actually grow and develop gifts in areas that we know we wouldn't have.
There's no doubt, Thor, I am a glass half full guy. It doesn't matter what's been thrown at my way in my life. I've always looked to the brighter side of it and how I can make it better.
Yeah.
Even at at age 13, when my mother and stepfather told me I was going to have to leave the house, all I could think of is, well, this is a great opportunity for me to get a new beginning.
Yeah.
I didn't, and it turned out great. I mean, I ended up being with my father and building a relationship with him that I hadn't had in my first 13 years. And, he directed a lot of my work ethic from that point. So there's always something you can make out of a bad situation.
Yeah, no question. I made a business out of it. One of my sixth business that I had was a disaster. I mean, it crashed, it burned, it took about $1 million from me. It was just, it was not fun.
Right.
But it never would have been in profitability consulting had it not been for my pain that I suffered through. And I said, I never want this to ever happen to anybody else. And I want to learn the lesson so I don't repeat it again. So someone came to me the other day. I went through a painful divorce a few years ago. And I now come from a position where I understand what he's going through. I never would have understood that. So I think some of our worst days actually can be our best days. So,
amen.
Absolutely. Well, man, we could go on and on forever. I'm looking forward to getting up to Nashville. I absolutely love your city. Franklin, right outside of Nashville, is an amazing suburb.
It is.
Man, I know where I'm going to dinner. I know where I'm going to lunch. I'm going to catch a wrestling match at the grocery store. So I really, really appreciate that. Share with the audience how they can get in touch with you. I'm sure there's some restaurant folks out here that are not having the success that you're having and would love to drop you an email and say, hey, you got any words of advice?
Absolutely. So amarshallhospitality.com has all our different restaurants on there, and you can go to the different restaurants and seek out there. But I'm on all the contact pages. You can just contact me. The message gets to me within the day. I have great folks that look after that. So if you need anything, or if you just need to contact me directly, it's Andy@amarshallhospitality.com .com. So you can contact me directly that way too.
Great. And it'll be in the show notes as well, so you can look there.
Mm-hmm.
Andy, thank you very much. I really appreciate having you on and look forward to having you back. And I'm guessing now that there's another concept in there. Maybe not this year, but I'm thinking that there's another concept coming down the road.
Yeah, you wouldn't be a true entrepreneur if you weren't always, what's next. And I am a what's next guy, but I'm learning a lesson this year to slow down, pay attention.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. You got to build on a strong foundation. That is so important. And it's easy to get ahead of yourself. We all do it. You grow, and all of a sudden it's like, okay, let's get a chance to digest this. So, well done. Hope to see you back on the list next year. But if you're not, what matters is that you've got an incredible brand there. You're building it. You're building your people, and you're providing an amazing atmosphere for your clients because it's all about the experience.
Hey, when you come to Nashville, don't fail to look us up.
No, absolutely. Look, I'm looking forward to a meal. I'm not gonna,
Absolutely.
I'm gonna hit you up and say, "Come on, I did a podcast. Come on, can you buy me a steak?"
No doubt.
All right. Well, I appreciate it, and I will look you up when I come to Nashville.
Sounds great.
Thank you. Thank you so much for listening today. I really do appreciate your time, and I hope you found today's show valuable. If you would like to receive these shows automatically to your phone or to your computer, simply go to iTunes and subscribe. After listening to several of the shows, if you're so inclined, please leave us a 5-star rating, as this helps us reach additional people and spread the message. If you're truly committed to taking your life to the next level and doing whatever it takes to become a peak performer, but something's holding you back, something is blocking your way, and you just can't seem to figure out what it is, send me an email to info@thorconklin.com, and I'd be more than happy to get on the phone with you. We'll schedule a 15-minute discovery call. No obligation, no cost. I absolutely love to hear from the listeners, and if there's something I can do to help, I'd be more than happy to do that. Also, if you found something of great interest in today's show and you want to share that with your friends and family, simply go to my Facebook page, Thor Conklin, click on the episode, hit the share button, and share it on your page. You can follow me at Twitter @Thor Conklin. The website is thorconklin.com. We're constantly adding new free resources, discussing additional tricks, tips, tools, and strategies on how to be a peak performer. Remember, I try to keep these episodes short so you can listen to them during dot time, doing other things, commuting, driving, walking, working out. Decide to be a peak performer in all that you do. And until tomorrow, have an absolutely amazing day.